name is Matthew Degonia. I'm a member of the Granite City Corps. My current passion for ministry is people. I love working with people and helping people, watching people grow in their relationship with God. My favorite Bible verse right now is Isaiah 6:8, which says, "Who shall we send and who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I, send me." I've always been part of the Army. I grew up in the Army. But it wasn't until I was 12 that I actually understood that I had to ask Jesus into my heart. So I did that at Camp Mahaska. I'm pretty sure it was at a junior soldier camp. I didn't understand what it meant to have Jesus in my heart, though, and it wasn't until high school that I really began to understand that God wanted all of me, and I started to give myself fully to Him. It was then that I began to understand the implications of soldiership and felt the first pangs of my calling to officership. That same summer at CBLI, I stepped forward for the first time for the call to officership and worked fervently to try to keep my faith in God. However, throughout high school, I struggled with sexual purity, and at 19, I became an unwed father. This was the darkest time of my life. I felt like my faith wasn't real and that God really couldn't use me in ministry anymore. And it wasn't until a holiness meeting, a United Holiness meeting at the Gateway Corps, that God really showed Himself to me, His grace and His forgiveness. Really just kind of poured out on me, and I understood that He still wanted to be part of my life. So I continued to move forward with my calling. I took an internship here in the Midland Division, but I didn't understand the requirements and the rigors of what officership really was for me. So I left my internship frustrated and doubting my calling. Not too long after that, Virginia and I got married, and we became very involved in our Corps ministry. And it was then that I started to fool myself into thinking, as long as I was part of ministry in the Army, it didn't matter that I wasn't in full-time ministry. So we took part in things like Sunday school, teaching Sunday school, program leadership, youth leadership, and it's a source of great pride for me to see our Rangers do well under my leadership and to see our youth develop the way God has called them under our leadership. But it's been since about late 2014 that God has started pushing me again towards officership, preparing me to get out of my comfort zone financially and comfortably, and then also preparing me for the idea of moving away and uprooting my family. At Regeneration 2015, Virginia and I really decided and accepted our call to officership again, and since then have purposely moved forward in trying to get into CFOT as soon as possible.